Hello and welcome back to Redirecting. This video comes at request by one of our viewers. It is regarding the Momo challenge. Now, I looked at the video that was sent to me and some other information as well. And apparently this Momo challenge is aimed at children. There's an app that suggests some really diabolical things, suicide and different things, and there's this really evil, wicked image that pops up for children. And what I want to suggest is that parents, especially those of you who allow your children on the internet, do some research on this Momo challenge, because from what I've been seeing, this is something that is being allowed on YouTube. Now, we all know that YouTube has been heavily censoring certain information that they feel shouldn't be there. Information about conspiracy theories and stuff like that, in which conspiracy theories are nothing more than a person's opinion about something. But as it relates to our children and their safety and this Momo challenge and this wicked demonic image that is being pushed and suggested in the news feeds, targeting children, suggestions of harming yourself, killing yourself, being allowed by YouTube. Now, they put these challenges out here, they allow it, they hear people talking about it, and even the fact that it's dangerous to children, you don't hear or see anyone on YouTube censoring it, pulling it down, making any actions toward it, but actually suggesting it. I find it very interesting that a country that promotes itself as being a country all about free speech and rights and all of this, don't see something that is targeting and aiming children as dangerous, something that needs to be dealt with quickly. And so I wanted to talk about this Momo challenge and everything that it involves, because the person who sent it to me, I agree with them that this is something that's urgent, that should be talked about, because a lot of parents do allow their children on YouTube, and some censor what their children watch and do, and some do not. And anything that puts a target on the back of your children, where there's no protection and you have some demonic app or something strange as this entering into your children's mind space. I mean, when you look at the image alone, the image is something that is very frightening. And a lot of children can't even deal with that sort of thing. They can't sleep at night looking at demonic images like that. And so I wanted to talk about this Momo challenge, because unfortunately so many fads enter into the world, so many trends, things that people think are cool and popular and nice to do. They enter in, and parents, for the most part, they think it's all innocent. Oh, it's for kids. Just because something is for kids or suggested for kids doesn't mean that it's good for children or kids, whatever you want to call them. We have allowed systems and apps and computers and technology and all kinds of things to take over the role of parenting. That is exactly what is happening, because anytime you'll have small children, first of all, I've always had a problem with kids who just have devices that connect them to the outside world without any type of supervision whatsoever. Some parents allow their children to just grab hold of these things at an early age. Of course, at some point, they get old enough to where you've trained them and you've taught them, and so they know what to do. But some parents, they just get the device and just give it to the child, give it to their children. No type of instruction, no type of direction, no type of monitoring. And the children, for the most part, are just doing what they want to do. Discovering things, looking up things, when I see this Momo challenge, it kind of reminds me of this video game that a man from the Philippines, he used to be a friend of my husband's. He's a pastor. He had contacted my husband years ago. This is when we were still Christians, and he was telling us how his son was playing a video game and a demon literally entered into his child, and he fell to the floor as if dead. And he was asking my husband and I, he said, I need you all to pray for my son. He was playing this game, something happened, and he's been laying in the floor for 3 or 4 hours as if he's dead. He said, I need you all to pray for him. Now, this pastor, he was a Gentile. He's a white man, and he was at one time was married to a black woman, so they had a child together, and he took custody of the child, and they moved to the Philippines. And so when the story or this thing happened with his son, he shared it with us, and I can't remember the video game that it was. It's been so long, so many years. But for me, it doesn't matter what the video game is. So many of these things are just wicked, and you probably shouldn't allow your children to just be on a lot of this stuff to begin with. That's the way I see it. Now, I'm not saying anything is wrong with video games for those of you who might take that and twist it. There are some games that are very clearly nothing wrong with them, although I'm sure everybody can find, or not everyone, but I'm sure some people can find something demonic about Pac-Man or Centipede or some of the old games that we used to play back in the day. I'm sure somebody can find something sinister and diabolical about that. But let me tell you, what I'm referring to are games that have vibrations in them and suggestions and all kinds of things, evil things. Look at Grand Theft Auto. I've only seen screen images of it on YouTube. Never played it, never had any interest in it. Know a lot of people who have, but it's things like that are suggesting rape and all kinds of wicked things. And so you have to understand that things are not innocent. The Momo challenge isn't innocent. This isn't something that you want to get involved in, trying to get your children to be a part of these challenges so they can feel like they're a part of the hip crowd or whatever it is. And unfortunately, a lot of parents don't even realize that their children are participating in certain things because they don't monitor. It's time to take a more proactive approach to dealing with and knowing what our children are involved in versus just allowing them to do whatever they want to do and figuring it all out at a later date. So I just wanted to talk about this at the request of one of our viewers. Thank you for informing me of this, especially for those who have children who are allowed to get on the internet. Just think about this for a minute. You don't want them to just get on there doing whatever they want to do and assuming that things are innocent. That the internet is a connection to a worldwide audience where all kinds of things are happening and all types of things are being promoted and pushed, and it's just not a place that you want to allow your children to be without supervision. You don't want your children to be out there without supervision on the internet, because there are some very diabolical things being promoted, and YouTube is in no way an innocent place for children to hang out. I just wanted to say that to you all. For anyone who knows about this, I see a lot of people talking about it. One brother who was talking about, as a matter of fact, it was the link that the sister sent to me. He was basically saying how he looked at a lot of information on this to verify that this is indeed a real challenge. And he talked about other things as well, how there's this push to just, taint the minds of our children, things that we talk about on this channel as well. But there is this push to taint their minds. And if you're just thinking things are just innocent fun, you can easily find yourself in a situation where your child has been exposed to something that's going to damage them for the rest of their lives. So keep these things in mind. The World Wide Web, the internet, is not a safe place for children to just roam around. Imagine the internet is sending them out into the jungle and expecting them to know what to do if they come up against a lion, or if they come up against some ferocious animal. Think of the internet as that, okay? And understand how precious their lives and their minds are, and how fragile their spirits can be when they are exposed to wicked, evil things such as this demonic-looking creature that they are promoting with this Momo challenge. Okay, family, with that, I will say shalom.